It's been an interesting week. Let's talk about it. Hello everybody, Rick here, back for another round of theme park news. But first, let me tell you what happened on Rix Flix last week. It was an odd week for me last week as I did 2 extra live streams. I did my usual lunchtime live stream on Wednesday and then my usual Saturday night live stream. But I also did a Monday Morning Sucks live stream, and then I did a live stream from a Mardi Gras float on Friday night. I did my usual park update videos, but then I also went to a media event at Busch Gardens, Tampa, where I rode Iron Gwazi for the first time. I will leave links to all the videos I did this week in the description box. Go check them out if you haven't done so already. And now on to the news, and let's not mess around. Let's get to the big story of the week. Universal Orlando has updated its face mask policy again, and it will no longer require fully vaccinated guests to wear face coverings indoors or outdoors, effective yesterday, February 12th. Guests who have not been vaccinated are encouraged, and that's the term Universal is using, encouraged to continue to wear face coverings while indoors. The change in policy is attributed to the local trends and conditions related to C-19. And to answer a question I am often asked, no, Universal does not require you to show a vaccination card to enter. The other big news of the week is over at Busch Gardens, Tampa. Iron Gwazi is scheduled to open to the public on March 11th, but as of today, it is accepting riders who are pass members. Busch Gardens Tampa has created a schedule of when specific pass member levels can ride Iron Gwazi. Obviously, the highest level of pass member gets first chance to ride Iron Gwazi, but the schedule does work its way down to the lowest level pass member being able to ride before the grand opening. I will leave a link to that schedule in the description box. Orlando-based SeaWorld has reportedly made a $3.4 billion offer to buy Cedar Fair. Cedar Fair is an Ohio-based theme park company that owns Cedar Point, Carowinds, and Knott's Berry Farm. Cedar Fair has confirmed that it did receive a bid from SeaWorld, but did not share any details. Universal Orlando is hiring for over 2,500 jobs. They range from full-time, part-time, seasonal, and salaried positions across the property. The available positions are in areas such as attractions, aquatics, custodial, parking, security, and operations. Universal's starting pay is $15 per hour, but is higher for some positions. Universal also has professional career openings in departments such as entertainment, IT, finance, marketing and sales, and human resources. If you are interested in applying, visit universalorlandojobs.com. I'll leave a link to it. And now for your Mickey Minute. Disney Cruise Lines has delayed one of its newest cruise ships, the Disney Wish. The ship was set to make its maiden voyage from Port Canaveral on June 9th, but has since been delayed until July 14th. Disney is now selling exclusive Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser outfits. The Star Wars themed hotel is set to open on March 1st. Ahead of the opening, Disney is now selling exclusive apparel for those hotel guests. It looks like the outfits will range between $50 and $150. The items are not available to everyone. Those only with a Galactic Star Cruiser vacation package are able to purchase the merchandise. And if you do hold one of those Galactic Star Cruiser vacation packages, you can purchase your items at shopdisney.com. Disney parks rebound and post their second best quarter ever of all time. The Disney Parks division generated $7.2 billion in the first quarter. Disney attributed the growth to higher guest spending and increased attendance. And I'm betting higher guest spending had the larger role. I think guests are paying more for tickets, more for food, more for merchandise, buying Genie Plus, buying Lightning Lanes. The parks, they say increase attendance, but I'm not thinking they're saying, all-time high attendance. I've been to the Disney parks. The parking lots are not near as full as they used to be. So while Disney does say increased attendance is one of the reasons, they are still not like achieving record attendance. So when it comes between the two things, I'm saying it's just guests are spending more money. And now it's time for You Be Trippin'. This is where we take a look back and see what happened on my second channel, Rix Road Trips. That channel is dedicated to all the fun stuff you can do in Florida outside of the theme parks. And this past week, I went to the Little Big Econ State Forest. I did some kayaking, and I showed or talked about some of the other activities that can be done in that forest, which is located just 45 minutes away from the theme parks. And I did have one scary moment where I had to bring out my knife for protection. I will leave a link to that video in the description box. Go check it out, and while you're there, subscribe to Rix Road Trips. Before we move on to the questions and answers segment, I need to welcome some new patrons and channel members. Now, the list is a little long. As you recall, Nikki and I did not do the weekly roundup last week. Therefore, double the work this week. Our new executive producers include Craig Pearson, Brian Anthony, Kate Ottenbaugh, John Green, the Borellis family, Babu Frick and Grugo, I love that name, Allie Howard and Billy Brewer. Our new producers include Killer Man from Earth, I love that name too, the Thompson family, M. Goose, Ashley Stevens, Heather Cater, Aisling, Caitlin West, Faith Montgomery Allen, the Byers family, and Jonathan Zierling. And then lastly, 3 new supporters, Pumbaa 368, CJPTN, and Joshua Petrino VFX. Thank you all for supporting the channel either via Patreon or channel memberships. And now on to questions and answers. No Nikki, so double the work for me. First question is from Skylar. You go so often to the parks, I don't understand how you aren't burnt out yet, LOL. I get some form of this question quite often, and my kind of quick answer back is, I went to a cubicle for 20 years. Shame on me if I get tired of going to a theme park. So that's kind of my general feeling on that. Now, there is one thing I miss. So there's never a day that I do nothing. And I kind of miss that. Like there's never a day where I just lay around and watch football or watch movies. I'm either always filming, editing, or pre-planning videos. So that's the one thing I miss is not doing nothing. I'm very busy. And then, so now we have question number 2 from Brando. Has there been any talks about updating the Universal Orlando Jurassic River Adventure to the Jurassic World version like they have in Hollywood? And no, there hasn't been any talks. That ride just opened up or reopened from its annual winter refurb. Nothing big changed there. Fresh coats of paint, some maintenance, things like that. I will say this though. Changing it over to the Jurassic World version is something Universal Orlando can always just have in its back pocket. Say years from now, they want a refresh in that area, or they just want something exciting to do or to offer guests something new. They always have those plans, and they'll always have the option to do so. So while I don't think there's any talks right now of making that change, in the future, I could see it happening. But that might be way off in the future. Question number 3 is from Lisa. She asks, with express passes, how much of the queue do you miss? Like the experience of the queue and such. Especially with the Harry Potter attractions. And I don't think you miss so much with the Harry Potter attractions. I can speak specifically to Gringotts, where I don't think you miss anything at all. You're just in a different line that pretty much goes the same way. You just kind of move at a quicker pace. So as long as you slow down a bit, you can still see everything that the standby people are seeing. Now, as far as with some of the other rides and attractions across the park, it kind of varies. At some points, the express line merges into the regular line at different spots, so it's hard for me to say, like with all the rides. But in general, you might miss a few things, but I don't think you're going to miss too much. And I still say it's worth it to get the express passes. And you're going to forgo maybe a few sights and sounds, but not many. Question 4 is from Kira. Kira says, "Hi, do you have any insider news on the Revenge of the Mummy? Is it being rethemed?" Well, I don't have any insider news, but I don't think that ride or attraction is going to go through a major retheming. It's just the fact that it's getting older and it has never gone through like a major rehaul, as far as like, replacing track and stuff like that. So I think that's all that's happening with the Mummy. Sort of what they did with the Hulk a few years back. With the Hulk, they tore it down, they put up all new track, but it was the same track layout. So I think that's happening. The big kind of scuttlebutt or theory is that they may change some of the video, especially the end where Brendan Fraser is asking for his cup of coffee. That is something people are worried about, losing Brendan. But if they do take Brendan away, I would expect some type of homage in the queue that would honor that. I would have enjoyed this interview more if I had gotten my cup of coffee. Some type of Easter egg would be placed in the queue if they take that away. And the last question of the day, Jeanne, is a walking cane with a fold-down seat allowed in the lines at Universal? I've seen those canes out in the world. I have never seen anyone use those in the theme parks. But I did reach out to Universal, and they did say they are allowed. So go ahead, feel free to use that. And that's going to do it for this week's solo weekly roundup. No Nikki. But as always, don't miss the magic, don't miss the fun. Thanks for watching Rix Flix, and now click that subscribe button.